Hello and welcome back to Justin Talks Villa for the weekly review. We haven't done one of these for a couple of weeks. There hasn't been a lot of things going on, mainly football, so we've just concentrated on that. And it's going to be a busy few weeks. Right, let me give you a rundown of where we're at on the channel. We've obviously got the two games this week. One will be the Maccabi Tel Aviv game, which is a big one. Europa League is back. Then we move back into Premier League action with Bournemouth at home on Sunday. And then we have the dreaded international break, which is just terrible and I hate them. But this time I am going to enjoy this international break because at last this year I am finally going away on holiday. I've been trying to book a holiday all year and finally I managed to squeeze it in this break. But fear not, there will be some episodes coming out pre-recorded that I have done that will be spaced out throughout the 10 odd days that the international break is on for. So something to look forward to there. Couple of three really good interviews, one with an ex-Villa player. Hopefully that can get done, recorded and edited, ready to go out in the break. And then a couple with a good friend of mine, really interesting ones. Hope you'll enjoy them all. Give you something to do during the break. And obviously, any breaking news, I will be banging out on the shorts over on YouTube and TikTok if you haven't subscribed to them already. While I'm on about subscribing, please, if you watch this video and you enjoy it, please hit the little button, subscribe. It means a lot to me, helps massively push the content out and helps the channel grow. And it means the world to me. And drop the video a like and get involved in the comment section as well. It all helps. Right, this is the weekly review. Two subjects on this agenda for this one. Firstly, Roberto Olabe has spoken to Aston Villa and given his thoughts and feelings on arriving at Villa Park and what his job will entail and his reasons behind taking the job. It is a fairly long interview and I have read it, but I have tried to condense it down into manageable outtakes rather than just reading the whole interview out. I'm going to give you my take on the main takeaways of the interview. So I've got them all written down here. So he started with settling into the Villa, about arriving and everything. So he said he's still in the learning phase. He's going to take some time to understand the people and the context of his job and the environment which he will be working in. He's initially focused on listening and building trust before he tries to implement any changes. He's gone on to say he's respected what has already been achieved at the club. He was asked what attracted him to Villa. Three key issues he highlighted. First, the club's history. Villa were a reference point for him growing up in the 60s and 70s. Premier League is also a big pull for him. Best competition in the world. And the project. It's a strong project with strong people, and he felt it was a huge opportunity for him to step into and be a part of. He then went on to mention the owners. He said he's had two types of conversation, a short-term first team needs and also the long-term. So coming up with a strategy and a pathway to push us into the future. He described it as a demanding project that has a winner's mentality. Owners want to keep developing the project going forward, and he thought that was a great way for him to also be involved and try and push us to the next level. He also got asked about working with Unai Emery. He said he has known Unai for 20 plus years and worked together in Spain. First time that he has joined Emery with an ongoing project rather than starting afresh at the beginning of a project. He emphasized the need to be humble and respect the current success of the club and will do everything he can to support Unai and Damien Vidagani going forward. He next spoke about his philosophy and his experience. He has worked in Spain, South America, and the Middle East. He focuses on combining talent and development with a winning mentality. He always aims high. He wants Champions League, he wants cups, and he wants success. So that pretty much aligns with Unai Emery and the fans. He's not here to change things immediately, but he wants to deepen and improve all the processes that can help Aston Villa be a success on and off the pitch. He was asked about the January transfer window, which is fast approaching. He said that they are satisfied with the current squad and their performance levels, but he will look to improve if opportunities arise. But one of the most important things is to develop players already at the club. Again, we've heard this a lot with Unai Emery. One of his main strengths is developing players. We saw that when he came in, how he took what was seen by Steven Gerrard as a poor squad that he couldn't improve. Emery's approach and way of doing things meant that he improved immediately the players that we had, and Olabe will also help to do that. But, and this is always the but with Aston Villa currently, he must balance the needs with PSR constraints. Still hanging above our heads, isn't it? He was asked about the academy focus as well, and he praised academy manager Mark Harrison's work up to now, and he believes in a 3-step process: identifying talent, developing talent, and promoting talent. Each player is an individual project, and he acknowledges the difficulty of promoting youth from the academies up into the Premier League, but he will see it and does see it as a challenge that he would like to take on full on. And then his overall approach is taking a holistic view beyond just transfers. He wants to include academy, the women's team, the commercial operation, and communication with everybody at the club, including fans, the owners, the coaching staff, and behind the scenes staff, technical staff. He wants to work collaboratively with President of Business Operations, Francesco Calvo, and his strategy is focused on long-term development whilst maintaining a winning mentality. It's going to be very interesting, isn't it, to see how his working relationship with Unai Emery develops over the short, medium, and long term. We know that they've had a previous working relationship, and we know that the Monchi area was overall successful. I'm going to say that. I know that in the transfer market, a lot of people will be saying that he wasn't a success, but I think recently we've seen that, the likes of Pau Torres, who people thought, can he take us onto the next level? Is he physical enough and things like that? I think a lot of the players have proven to be well worth, their place in the squad. And I think Calvo, as well as Olabe, are bringing this different type of mentality to the club and fresh eyes on it. And I think that's an important aspect of continual growth and continue being, trying to push to the next level, is that we've got these two new men now in these really, really important positions at the club, where we obviously want to see off-field growth in the commercial department, which will help ultimately the on-field growth of the team, which is what, as a fan base, we want to see, a successful team on the pitch. The January transfer window will obviously be his first port of call, and it seems to be that they are pretty happy with what we've got, and I don't really see a lot of change in January. I think I spoke about this last night on the Monday night phone-in. I potentially only see maybe even one signing coming in, and that could be a forward, I think, because we are very light up front. And we'll come on to Ollie Watkins in a minute, because that's going to be the second half of this episode. So, yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going forward. But it was a very, as you would expect, pretty much, to be honest, a very interesting interview with Roberto Olabe. The full interview is available on Villa TV if you want to go and watch that. And it's also transcribed fully, as you can see here, over on the Villa website. So, it's in full detail there. I just wanted to try and give you basic overview of what he said and the main talking points. But yeah, good interview. Seems a really nice guy. And obviously the working relationship he's got with Unai Emery is a huge factor in him going forward and hopefully being a success at Aston Villa. Right, let's move on to the second part of this weekly review episode, and it is going to be talking about Ollie Watkins' struggles this season. Okay, right. So this is what I'm going to do. I've had a quick look. Well, I've had quite an in-depth look at Ollie Watkins' stats this season, and I've also sort of cross-referenced them with Aston Villa's attacking stats this season to see whether it is an Ollie Watkins problem or is it a team problem. We all knew our struggles the first 4 league games of the season. This is just based on league games. I haven't looked at Europa or Cup games. I know we've only had 1 Cup game because we got knocked out. So 10 games in, I always think is a really good idea to sort of start seeing where you're at, because you're sort of a quarter of a way through the league season. So you've got enough data really to start having a look where you're at. So XG is what we're going to be talking about here. Now, I'm not a huge understander of XG, so I've had to go away and have a bit of a research of what it exactly means. We've all seen it, we've all looked at the numbers, and some of you might absolutely nail it and know it inside out and can look at the numbers and know exactly what they mean straight away. I'm actually going to read a couple of books while I'm away on it to try and get my knowledge up more, but this is a basic overview of XG. So XG is expected goals. It is a stat that measures the quality of a scoring chance. It predicts the probability that a shot will result in a goal based on factors like distance from the goal, angle of the shot, body part used, foot, head, etc., type of assist or pass into the player, and a defensive pressure on that player. So what do the numbers mean? 0.0 to 1.0 is the scale. Each shot gets a value between 0. Basically, that would mean that, so the lower the number to 0 means impossible to score, and 1 is almost certain goal. So an XG of 0.05 is 5% chance of scoring. So a long range shot, really difficult to angle. That's less likely. A 0.50 XG is a 50% chance of scoring. So 1 in 2 chance of scoring that goal. So it's a decent effort. So if you get a 0.5 XG chance, you should, most top strikers will be looking to finishing those off. And a 0.90 XG is a 90% chance of scoring. So you would class that as a tap in from close range. So if a player has an XG of 2.3 in a match, it means the shots they took would be expected to produce about 2.3 goals for an average player. If they actually scored 3, they would be outperforming their XG. They were clinical. If they scored none, they would be underperforming. It's basically a way to measure whether a team or a player is getting good chances and whether they are finishing them well, rather than just looking at the final score. Okay, do we understand that? I think I understand that. Okay, so we're looking firstly at Aston Villa as a team. Let's take this off so we can have a proper look. So we're looking at Aston Villa firstly as a team. So this is the first 10 games of the season. So we can move these to who is the top and who is the bottom. So 10 games. Goals. Man City have scored 20 goals this season. So we're looking at the XG for the 10 games is 18. So they're outperforming their XG by 2 goals. Chelsea second, 18. Then you got Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United scored 17. So if you look here, you got 18. So they're pretty much bang on. Arsenal bang on. Liverpool pretty much bang on. Man United bang on. So we move down the table. As you can see, Villa aren't anywhere near that yet. So we get down to Villa, who are third bottom. 9 goals, so the third worst scorers this season. But our XG is 7.66. So that means our XG over the first 10 games, we will be expected to score only 7.6 goals. So based on the quality of our chances we are creating, we have outscored our XG. So by 1.4. It's not a lot, but compared to how many good chances we've created, we are slightly above. So we're taking more chances, even though the quality of those chances is poor. So we're 1.34 above. If we look at this one, goals versus XG, we are outperforming our XG. If you look at the likes of Forest, who have got an XG of 11, so after 10 games, they would be expected to score 11.4 goals, and they've only scored 7. So they are creating better chances, but they're not taking those chances, where we are creating poor chances and we've scored more than we thought. Okay, understand that. So I think that definitely ties into what we think of our attacking output this season. Like I say, 10 games, the first 4 we struggled to even score a goal, and then the next 6 we've done a lot better, but we've played against harder opposition. For example, the last 3 games: Spurs away, Man City home, Liverpool away. 3 really difficult games, so you wouldn't expect us to be creating loads and loads and loads of chances. So on that respect, you can see that we are not creating good chances, but we're scoring ahead of, not massively, but we are scoring more than we are producing. Okay, so let's look at this: shots. So who has taken the most shots this season? Liverpool, 156 shots in 10 games. Now let's scroll down to where we're at. We are here, so not quite as bad as we were for XG or goals scored. So we are what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th bottom for shots. We've had 103 shots this season. So if we look at what this is, and now shots on target. So this is an interesting statistic. Okay. So if you look at Liverpool, for example, 156 shots they've had, but they've had 45 of them on target. So their conversion rate of goals, so this is goals to shots, is, let's go back to putting that up, sorry. So Liverpool's 156 shots, 45 goals, and their conversion rate is 11.54. Okay. So that's quite an interesting statistic. So their conversion rate is, as we say, 18 goals from 156 shots. That's an 11% conversion rate. So if we look at the best conversion rate in the division, it's 17.53%, which is Spurs. Currently, they've scored 17 goals from 97 shots, and they've had 34 on target. So that's a pretty good conversion rate. Now let's have a look at where Villa are on this statistic. 9 goals from 103 shots, 31 on target. We are 8.74. So again, we're right down the bottom. We are 5th bottom of this conversion rate. And the teams you expect to be down there are teams that are struggling: Forest, Wolves, Leeds doing okay, Newcastle. Considering where we are in the league, we're actually doing pretty well for these statistics. And then our XG per shot, which is absolutely woeful, is the worst in the division. Absolutely atrocious, the XG per shot there. So to delve into this more, so it means Aston Villa have had 10.3 shots per 90 minutes, okay? 10 games, 103 shots at a 0.07 XG per shot. That's 7.21 total XG, but we've scored 9, so we're outperforming. So we've taken approximately 103 shots at an average of 0.07, which should have produced 7 goals, but they've scored 9. So it means, this tells you Villa are taking a lot of low quality shots in games because our XG is so low. But through sheer volume, 103, we've created 7.2 XG worth of chances. So have we been lucky or clinical and converted more than expected? This isn't sustainable long-term. Teams that rely on low quality, high volume shooting and overperforming usually regresses. So that's not good statistic to be at where we're at. So what does this mean for Ollie Watkins? Is he just the victim of a team that's not creating many chances? We are creating low quality chances, and he is obviously not benefiting from that. So let's have a quick look at Ollie Watkins. So let's bring up Ollie Watkins' stats from this season. So this is again from Opta Analyst. So we can see that he's got 10 appearances. He's played 789 minutes, scored 1 goal at an XG of 1.74. So he's underperforming his XG. His XG saying he should have got 1.74. He's got 1. His goals versus XG is 9. He's minus. So he's below where he should be. And this is the very worrying statistic. In 10 games this season, league games, he's only had 14 shots. and 3 on target in 10 games. It's really, really bad. But as we saw from the statistics of the actual team, the team was at 3 point. Let me try and bring that up to the top. So the team statistics were 10 games, and we were in at bring that up to the top. Okay, 10 games, 0.9. So 10 games, sorry, 9 goals. So our XG compared to Ollie Watkins' XG is 7.66. His is 1.74. So that's miles lower than ours. Goals per XG, Villa's is 1.34. His is minus, so he's below that. 103 shots. Ollie's taken 14 of our 103. And he's only hit 3 on target, and his conversion rate is 7%, and Villa's is 8 points, so he's below the conversion rate and that. But weirdly, his XG per shot is 0.12. Villa's was 0.07. So his actual quality of his shots, of the chances he's getting, is better. He's getting better quality chances than the whole of the team. So what does that mean? So when Watkins gets a chance, they're better quality, 0.12 against Villa's 0.07. But he's barely getting involved in the games. He's only had an average of 1.6 shots per game. That's very, very, very low for a striker. And only 0.34 of his shots on target per game. So he's only averaging 1 shot on target every 3 games. And the chances he is getting, he's missing them. So it's very, very worrying. The bigger picture is, based on all these statistics, so this is my thoughts. Villa, this is not a service problem. Villa are creating chances and shooting frequently at 10.03 shots per game. But Watkins is being isolated from the attack for whatever reason. There are possible reasons. Is it a tactical? Is he playing too high or too deep? Are wingers, midfielders not finding him enough? Is the formation not helping him? Is he running the channels too much? And this is probably my best guess: form and confidence crisis. 7% conversion rate suggests he's having a real mental block at the moment. He's not gambling on chances he would normally attack. He's hesitant in his shooting, only 1.6 attempts per game, averaging over 10 games. Is he injured? Is he just not sharp enough? Is his fitness not where it needs to be? Has he lost half a yard of pace? Has Villa's style changed and it's not suiting him these days? And I think we have seen a slight change in style this season. Are we just bypassing the striker more, or is somebody else picking up his chances? So this is the last thing I will look at as far as Ollie Watkins go, and this is very interesting. So if we look at his actual statistics this season, so this is let's look at his touches. Okay, this is a touch map. So in every game this season, his touch map. So this is Everton, right? So this is the full game, and this is the attacking area here. Okay. So in the Everton game, he had 1 successful touch in the penalty area. Okay, so bear that in mind, 1. And then we go on to Sunderland, 3. So we start with Newcastle. So 2 successful touches in the Newcastle game. Brentford, 5. Palace, 4. These are touches in the box, let's not forget. Everton away, just about 1 touch in their box. Sunderland away, 3 touches. Fulham at home, 2 successful touches in the box. Burnley, 2 successful touches in the box. He's just not 1 against Spurs, Man City, weirdly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successful touches against City. And then Liverpool, not one successful touch in the whole game. And if you look at where his touches were, they're all sort of pushed out to the left-hand side of the pitch. City coming really deep to try and get the ball here throughout the game. Tottenham, again, left-hand side dominating. Burnley, again, left-hand side dominating. We need to see him here. He's just not getting in the areas to be a threat. And this is the biggest indicator to me that he's just, I don't know what's happening, whether his role has changed, but nobody's come out and said that. Again, left-hand side, nothing straight down the middle. Everton, too deep against Everton, not in the right areas. Why is this? Palace a little bit better, sort of more centrally against Palace earlier on in the season. But again, we struggled in those games, didn't we? Brentford, again, a little bit better, more centrally. And then back to the first game of the season, Newcastle at home. Look at that, just all over the pitch. You know, I want to see my striker in this final third here. So what else can we look at? Chances creating. This is every game this season. All games, this is how many chances he's created. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chances in 10 games. It is very worrying. Heat map. So this is over every single game this season. The lighter the colour is, the least amount of touches. So for a striker, you'd expect this area here to be absolutely peppered with really deep, dark touches. So 6 touches is the maximum he's had in one game throughout the season. So in this area here, and as you can see, that left-hand side to central area there, that's where the majority of his touches have been all this season. Pass map, again, very dominated on that left-hand side. Centrally, it's not too bad, but in the area, it's just very, very, it's just nothing there. Position map, he is a centre forward, but he's just not been dominating in this area at all. So yeah, it's very worrying for Ollie. What do you think? That's all the statistics. I've had a look at it. I hope that makes sense, to be honest, because I'm really trying to sort of understand XG and how it can help you influence. Is a player just out of form, or is the way we're playing not helping him? What do you think? I think it's a bit of both, if I'm honest. I think the early season didn't help with our lack of chances. I don't think we are creating enough chances. You can see that from the statistics there. We are one of the lowest ranked teams for chances, shots, and shots on target. And the quality of chances we are creating are very poor as well. So is it the team that's to blame for Ollie's struggles this season, or is it Ollie's? I don't know. I think, if I'm brutally honest, looking at everything, I think it's both. I think the team aren't creating enough chances. The chances we are creating aren't quality chances. And I think he's also in poor form. So it's all adding up to be a really, real big struggle for him. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you think I've missed anything out or anything else, please let me know. But if you enjoyed it, please drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, and get involved in the comment section. Speak to you again soon. Up the Villa.